Hey everybody, welcome back to Sound the Line Time Ministries. This is Christopher Gallagher and today's date is October 9th, 2025. And this is going to be a pretty short video. There's a few things I want to share with you, a few dreams that I've had, and like anything else, take it before the Lord and pray about it. Everything, guys, that we watch on YouTube or someone's claimed that they've heard from the Lord should be brought before the Lord in prayer. Is this from you? Does it line up with Scripture? This is very important that we do this. And obviously, if you know anything about Brother Joshua, this guy from South Africa, and his failed rapture predictions, this could be a problem if we don't do that. So I'm not here to condemn this brother and bash him. But what I am here to do is to share a few things that I've heard from the Lord and take it before the Lord and pray about it. The first dream. My wife and I were inside the house and we came out on a normal, kind of casual day. And planes all over the sky, but nothing, this is like, kind of what I saw with this thing was there was a bunch of, how you can see like on radar, planes taking off, from state to state and they're just moving all over the place. If you have something like that going on. It was kind of like that. We saw just a bunch of planes in the sky doing their normal thing, taking people to where they got to go. A normal day. And as we were watching, there was one plane in particular that just kind of, it seemed to go off course and kind of circle around. And then it came around and then it crashed. Big plane, like one of the big jumbo jets, and it crashed. And then another one did, and then another one did, and then another one did. All these planes seemed to just fall out of the sky. And again, how they were flying, going to their destinations, it wasn't anything like a format of, what you might see in like a Red Dawn type of event. No, it was just normal stuff, but all of a sudden they all just started dropping out of the sky. And that was it. There really wasn't much to it. Like it is with most of the dreams that I've had, there's just not much to them. So my thoughts on that is that an EMP, some kind of, attack like that just shut them all down and they just started crashing. I don't know. It seems to me that's what it would be, some type of an attack like that, cyber attack, whatever. But I'm not sure, but that's what happened with that. The second one, this one, I actually laughed at it first. I thought it was kind of a silly dream, but it's not, is what the Lord was telling me afterwards. So at night, I was in bed, sleeping, chilling, and all of a sudden I knew something was going on outside. And then I go outside to see what's going on. Something was coming through the night sky, the clouds or whatever, and it showed up. Huge spaceship that just showed up in the sky. And we were all panicked because this thing was huge and looked so real. But what it was, it kind of looked like the Enterprise. I was like, okay, well that's, it's a silly dream. But here's what the Lord revealed to me about that. It's not a silly dream. Because what we saw in the sky is fake. How fake is the Enterprise, the Starship Enterprise, if you're into that type of thing? How fake is that? Well, it's fake. It's not real. Either is the one that we're going to see, or the ones that we're going to see. Because I've talked about this before, the Project Bluebeam. You guys remember that? How much chatter and talk has there been the last year or so about there being, well, now we got 3i Atlas coming. How many people are saying that, and people that are scientists or whatever, in the government that are saying, no, that's not a comet. Again, my thought always was that when the rapture does happen, they have to explain this thing away somehow. I've said it before in my videos. So I think that's what they're going to do, and that's what they're preparing us for, and I think we're going to see it soon. Don't believe the lie. Remember what Paul says about this, and then how a great deception is coming, but God himself is going to send them a strong delusion so that they would believe a lie. God's going to counter that. Oh, you think that's good? God's going to put his own out there. You want to deceive people? You want people? Okay. All right. So it seems like a silly dream on the outside, but it's really not. What he was telling me was, as fake as the USS Enterprise is, that's how fake this is going to be. But man, they're going to make it look real. And it could be sooner than we think, guys. I don't know when, but just be ready for it. They've been prepping us to receive and believe this stuff for the last year or so now. Really, even longer than that, if you look at movies and stuff like that. But even on mainstream media, as they're talking about, aliens in the last year or so, right on mainstream TV and UFOs and all of that, yep, they're talking about it. So that was the second one. The third one, this was really short, but it was really interesting. So, and this was, I was sleeping, and I was getting close to me getting up to go to work, and I hear these words. You guys remember when I told you I heard the words, pray for protection for 10 days? It was so almost audible in my sleep, like someone was talking to me. Well, I heard these words. The EBS is going off. Is going to go off. The EBS is going to go off. The emergency broadcast system is going to go off. As soon as I heard those words in my sleep, my alarm clock went off. After that, I heard the words, the alarm clock went off, and I was awake. And this is what the Lord told me. The EBS is going to go off. You're going to wake up, and you're going to be alert now. And this is exactly what's going to happen. It's an alarm. For the church, it's an alarm. And what he's telling me is something is going to happen before the rapture takes place that's significant, like shut down stuff, like I've told you before in my videos. And that whole pray for protection for 10 days thing, I think, is part of this. And I don't know what that all entails, but I know it's soon. So the EBS goes off, people wake up, and then it's probably going to be some kind of a lockdown, and I think probably for 10 days. And then I think we're going to go home after that. But something needs to wake up people, the church first, because I think a lot of Christians are asleep, compromised, not serving the Lord, turned off by all the rapture stuff, and because the rapture didn't happen, and people are discouraged, and I understand why. So, what do we do, guys? What do we do here? We need to be ready for the soon coming of Jesus Christ. That's what we need to do. So, pray about these things, because I think the Lord is coming very soon. I can't give you a date, guys. I'm not going to. But I think he's coming soon. The EBS thing, though, when's that going to happen? I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be 3 months down the road. I don't know. I didn't get a date. But the Lord told me this thing is going to go off. And our nation is going to shut down. I don't know when. And I don't even know what it is that causes it. Something pretty serious, though, for us to shut down like that, for the EBS to go off. They've been testing that thing for years now. They're getting ready. They're getting ready for something. So, folks, be ready. Be prayed up. And listen, the whole Joshua thing, I don't know what to tell you. It's discouraging. I heard when the guy first came out, he sounded very humble and meek and laid back and just to the point about stuff. And, he really sounded convincing. But we always pray about this stuff, guys. We always do. And he said September on the Gregorian calendar, and then it turned into the Julian calendar, and here we are, it's the 9th. Because he said October 7th and 8th on the Julian calendar, and here we are. And a lot of Christians are discouraged, and I get why. This is potentially the biggest gut punch the church has ever had. You go back to even before, the first one I remember is 88 Reasons Why the Rapture Would Happen in 88, and then in 89, and this guy, he wrote this book, 2 books, 3 books, 4 books, whatever it was, 88, 89, 93, and 94, I think. I could be wrong on those years. But he wasn't the only one. There's Harold Camping, and there's others. So this guy comes out and he says this stuff, and he was able to sway a lot of Christians to believing that this could happen, and it didn't happen. So Not much more to add to this video, guys. Just be ready. Share the gospel. Don't listen. Don't let that discourage you or make you lay down. Share the gospel. Share the gospel. Share the gospel. People are dying and going to hell every day, and we need to be those lights, those witnesses that Jesus wants us to be. And people need to get saved. They're going to go through the tribulation, guys. We're not. Again, I'm not going to get into all that here now, but they're going to go through the tribulation time. We are not. The church will be rescued before that. That is biblical. And again, watch my videos. I've got a couple videos on why I believe in the pre-trib rapture. You don't have to believe, but it's not a salvation issue. It's not. But things are going to pop off soon, and we really need to be ready. My fear is that, so many people being discouraged with, Joshua's rapture dates failing, that people are just going to give up and quit and just lay down and go back to sleep or whatever. No, guys. This whole thing might have been a setup from the devil from the beginning to get us to do just that, because he knows the rapture is soon. So that's the worst thing we could do, guys. It's literally the worst thing we could do. Let it motivate you. Let it motivate you to do even more. It's motivate me. I was never fully on board with it. I was listening to him and I'm like, But I'm like, and I say that because the day and the hour no man knows is a Jewish idiom. And I know there's some teachers out there that say, well, it wasn't taught before the 17th century like that. And, whatever. Whatever. It's clearly Jewish tradition, and it is a Jewish idiom. You don't have to buy into that if you don't want to. To me, Jesus fulfilled the first 4 feasts literally, physically, did he not? He did. There's 3 left, and if he literally physically fulfilled the first 4, it would be illogical to conclude that he would not fulfill the last 3, literally, physically, in his new physical resurrected body. Of course he's going to fulfill all of it. Well, that's Jewish. I know it's Jewish. I know the feasts are Jewish. And none of I've heard another teacher say, none of the feasts have anything to do with the end times. Well, that's categorically false and easy. What? How could you say that? Did the Jews have anything to do with the end times? Is the 70th week of Daniel, is that the end times? Of course it's Jewish, but it involves the whole world, though. The judgment that's being poured out and the wrath of God is on the whole world. It's of course, I know it's Jewish, guys, but and again, it has everything. The Jews have everything to do with the end times. The 70th week of Daniel has everything to do with the end times. Matthew 24 is the end times. Daniel, Revelation 6 through 19 is all the end times. So I guess I don't understand, with all due respect to some big-name teachers out there, how they can draw that conclusion. Do your own studies, draw your own conclusions. So I'll leave it there. Listen, the most important thing is, if you're not saved and you're hearing this, you need to get saved. Call upon the name of the Lord. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. His shed blood, he shed his blood to pay for our sin. It's a free gift being offered to all of us. You have to receive it, though. Yes, you do. He's not just going to make you saved against your will. You do have free will, and you need to receive this free gift in a humble manner, acknowledging your offenses before God, the one and only true and living holy God. You need to do that today. And I can't urge you enough to do that today, because none of us are promised tomorrow. And this whole thing, like I said, could start popping off tomorrow, and shock and awe could kick in tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to or not. It could be down the road a little ways. I don't know. I'm just suspicious that, a lot of things are going to start happening here very soon. So I'll leave it there. God be with you all. And folks, again, let's keep looking up, because our redemption draws nigh.